It's about informing people with the facts to know what's happening in Thailand, inside government, business, society, with real players, talking to leaders and decision makers, seeking the answer with perspective, issues that affects Thailand's future. This is Thailand. This is the Insider Thailand. Swadikap and welcome to the Insider. In September 2015, Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha was invited to a summit on United Nations peacekeeping in New York, where he pledges Thailand's enhanced role in global peacekeeping operations. Since then, Thailand has approached this priority by preparing a more comprehensive portfolio in peacekeeping operations and by taking part in a number of ongoing operations under the United Nations banner. Most recently, in 2017, Thailand joined the United Nations peacekeeping force in South Sudan with a dispatch of 273 personnel, which include contingents from the engineering corps, ordnance disposal officer, and police officer. And in May 2018, Thailand and Australia co-hosted the 10th biennial peacekeeping exercise known as Pirap Jabiru in Bang San, Thailand, which involved more than 100 participants from 20 countries in the Indo-Pacific region. For Thailand, this heightened role in international security cooperation has its roots in the country's previous contribution to peacekeeping operations around the world, especially in the areas of development assistance and in bolstering women's participation in peacekeeping operations. Thailand is proud of this heritage, and we certainly look forward to contributing more in a year to come. To learn more about how Thailand is fully committed to this role in global security, the Insider Thailand is privileged to talk to the Director of the Peace Operations Centers of the Thai Armed Forces, Rear Admiral Nattapong Ketsombun, and his staff. Swadikap ทุกท่านเลยนะครับ Well, peacekeeping operation is very important, of course, and since now we have peace operation centers, so I'd like to ask you my very first question about Thailand's role and contribution in peace operation.
Thank you. We're glad to talking about Thailand, particularly Royal Thai Armed Force contribution in peacekeeping operation from the past up until now. And then let me begin to overview first. Since Thailand joined the United Nations as a member in 1946, Royal Thai Armed Forces, being security arm of the country, become continuously involved in peace operation under UN framework. This also contribute its assistance to the number of the humanitarian effort to relieve the disaster in various countries. It's important that this is effort that makes them to be constitute and as one of the tasks of our armed forces, then stipulated in the hierarchy policy from the level of Ministry of Defense through to the armed forces as well. And then also Thailand, being by the Royal Thai Armed Forces, and taken action law in participating and deploying its contingents to numerous peace operation and humanitarian missions as well. And the mission under UN mandate from the past up until now, it would be right normally is 18 mission right now. First is Korean Peninsula, and then East Timor, and then by the Haiti, and then also the last mission is Sudan as well. And then normally Sudan is separate by the Sudan and then South Sudan right now. And then so there are from the main efforts that can establish military and military relationships, and then also civilians and then organization as well, and that we earn more experience in terms of personality, and then also the unit itself, and then get more could be applied from our capability to dealing with the world arena or maybe in peacekeeping up until now. The Royal Thai Armed Force by Peace Operations Center right now have a very big part to payroll conducting the peacekeeping aspect. And then we got 4 main responsibility. The first one normally are the staff wing of peace operation. from World Thai Arts. And then furthermore, we are also the body of the coordination between the field mission and then also military command center. And then also be the academic center as well from the peace operation. And then lastly, the main effort is to be the national and then regional center to dealing with training and then exercise in peace support operation.
So you have mentioned about Thailand's peacekeeping mission in many places, 18 of them, and among the 18 mission, we still have our troop in South Sudan. Colonel Tersak, would you mind sharing with us about our role in South Sudan at the moment?
Well, before I start on the role in UNMISS in South Sudan, after the Royal Thai Armed Forces was approached from United Nations to contribute the horizontal military engineer company to Southern Sudan, General Tantayan Srisawan initially approved in the principle to support the engineer company. After that, we have to seek the approval from the Defense Council, and subsequently for the final approval from the Royal Thai Cabinet on the 17th October last year. After the approval process, we start with both in our internal process and UN process. We start from the site survey in UNMISS in Juba, and we have the MOU negotiation in New York. And lastly, we just finished the pre-deployment visit from United Nations that they certified that we are ready to deploy in UNMISS. And also the load list for sea shipment and the air cargo is already in place and just awaiting for the final approval from the Sudan government. The engineer company consists of 273 personnel, and within the body they have the organization with the men of the two of the horizontal engineer company and one vertical construction engineer company, also with the two force protection and one hospital level 1. The main mission of this company is to maintain and construct of the main route in the southern Sudan, in particular in the area of operation in Rumbek and in Juba. Other than apart from the UNMISS, we still have the 3 missions ongoing in operation. First, the mission in India and Pakistan, that we have the 4 military observers. The second, we still have the 14 of the staff officer and admiral in UNAMID. There is a conflict in Darfur in Sudan. And lastly, we have the 4 liaison officers and 6 of honor guard operation in UNCA in Korea Peninsula.
Well, thank you very much for your information. Turn to Colonel Som Ying. I'd like to ask you about your opinion on the development of the peacekeeping operation, international peacekeeping operation. How do you see?
From the very beginning, early in the 1948, the peacekeeping by the UN is known as the traditional peacekeeping. They usually consist of the unarmed military observers and also the very light armed troops, and their role and responsibility would be more of the monitoring, reporting, and confidence building. And the very first 2 and still ongoing are the UN mission. There's the one in the Middle East, and the other one is between the border of Pakistan and India. And from the UN experience throughout the years, with many lessons learned, and also the incidents in Sierra Leone, in Bosnia-Herzegovina, and Rwanda in 1990s, where the genocide and the crime against humanity is on the media, yes, very, very worldwide. So from that point, UN began its reforming process on the mission to respond more accordingly to the challenges that they found in dynamic and complex operating environment. So from then, from traditional peacekeeping, they have evolved to the multi-dimensional peacekeeping, where maintaining the peace and security is still the main area, but also it has been included more of the perspectives covering protection of civilians, assisting in restoring the rule of law, the political processes, including the elections, and also assisting in the process of the disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration of the former combatants for them to be back in their own community once again. And for those kind of things and many, many tasks that we have to deal with, we need more of the sufficiently robust mandates and with adequate resources, and also the very effective rule of engagement. Because you could see from the news, most of the time the civilian, particularly women and children, they have become the targeted in the wartime, and also even for the UN personnel ourselves, we become the target as well by the armed groups.
Talking about women and children, as the victims in many areas, this bring about the role of the female officer or female peacekeeper in peace and security. We have the term women in peace and security. Would you be able to elaborate on this point?
Actually, after the Beijing Platform of Action in 1995, the UN has taken it very seriously to bring that perspective into their peacekeeping and also other operations by the UN at all levels, from strategic level to the tactical level. So they adopted that area, and they also learned that in a multi-dimensional peacekeeping with a broader humanitarian approach and together with the gender mainstreaming, the female peacekeepers have become a vital part to the mission success. And the roles of the female peacekeepers that we could do there in the mission to help the community. I would give just 4 examples, because actually there are many more things that we could do. By being there for them, when they say us as the female over there, they will feel that, okay, their community is more secure, safer to them. And we could be a role model for women and girls in the community. We could inspire them, empower them, and show them what female could do. And most of the time, they are more familiar with the male-dominant society, so they get used to that. And if they see us, they could have more broader idea what they can do and the power that they actually have for the peace-building process as well. And in most community, the mission that we have been deployed in, most of the time is the Muslim communities, and they're not allowed to talk to men. So when we are there, we will be the one that have the direct engagement with the community, talk to women and girls and children, and we could get the information from them. And so we would know what are their specific needs, so that we could plan accordingly to help them in the way that they want, not what we want or what we have, but to understand what they need, and then we provide or help them together with the help from the police and the civilian components in the mission, and also with the international organizations and NGOs over there in mission. So we work together as one team. And back to the mission itself, both at the headquarters level or at the sector level, the information that we gain from the community, it could be valuable and very critical for our mission integrated planning. That's example for our female roles over there.
So you have been in the mission already, right?
Yes, I have been deployed once during the year of 2013 as staff officer in the mission in North Sudan, in Darfur. And I also have I would say a wonderful experience for me, but it's kind of sad too, to get there and see how suffering those affected populations are, and it's once in a lifetime experience. And I still wait for other opportunity if I could get deployed again and to get a chance to help them in any way that I can in my capability.
Well, thank you very much. Now we turn to Captain Puwadon. Would you mind sharing with us or tell us about the future of Thailand in the area of peacekeeping operation?
Well, yes. In the future, there will be so many activities that we need to achieve. Looking back 4 years ago, since General Prayut Chan-o-cha, our Prime Minister, participated the Leader Summit on Peacekeeping Operations, which is held at the United Nations headquarters in New York in 2015, where he pledged to contribute the Thai contingents to support the UN peacekeeping, as well as commit to work with the international community to develop and enhance peacekeeping capabilities of the UN peacekeeper. We have achieved so many goals and objectives that we set to put that policy into practice. However, there will be a lot of room for us to fulfill this commitment in the future. For example, we will, with our engagement with the United Nations Peace and Security Initiative, for sure we will continue to contribute the deployments of our engineer companies in South Sudan, as well as maintaining the contributions of our staff officer and observer to the UN peacekeeping mission. And as the UN is now emphasizing and promoting the women, peace and security agenda, as Lieutenant Colonel Somying has just mentioned, we will encourage our female peacekeeper to participate more on the UN peacekeeping in the future. Right now, the Peace Operations Center is the ASEAN Center of Excellence in the United Nations Staff Officer course. So to fulfill this commitment, we will need to improve and both the standard and the capabilities of our curriculum and our instructor. We planning to get the UN certifications on our United Nations Staff Officer course starting from 2019, and after 2020 onward, we will continue to seek certifications of all of our course from the United Nations to make us become a truly ASEAN peacekeeping center of excellence. Right now, we exchange our instructor with many countries such as Germany, Australia, South Korea, Malaysia and Indonesia. We will continue to do the same, and we also we will seek the expansions of this activity as well, because it can help to enhance the capabilities of our instructor and our peacekeeping training and education in general. Right now, we are working with the United Nations to develop the regional course called Children in Armed Conflicts. When we deploy to the mission in South Sudan, our troops will face with such challenge. Then we approach the United Nations and work together to develop such course. So from 2019 onward, we plan to give the opportunity to ASEAN countries to participate in this course. As part of the ASEAN's peacekeeping communities, we have workings to promote the establishment of ASEAN peacekeeping force. To achieve this end, we will host the very first ASEAN peacekeeping staff exercise in 2019 as well. And also we plan to host the international peacekeeping seminar, workshop and meetings. For instance, in September this year, we will host ASEAN Peacekeeping Center Network meetings. It will have 10 ASEAN countries participate in these meetings. And in April 2019, we will host the annual general meetings of the Asia Pacific Associations of Peacekeeping Training Center, which will have approximately more than 20 countries in Asia Pacific regions participate this meeting as well. In order to make the Peace Operations Center ready to host and absorb this international activity and seminar, we also plan to improve and rehabilitate our training facilities.
So turn back to the director, Admiral Nattapong. So what is Thailand's area of specialty in peacekeeping operation, and what would be the benefit that Thailand would gain from joining United Nations in peacekeeping operation?
Our peacekeeper have displayed very unique and then distinctive capability other than create the safe and secure environments. The mission areas for robust pursuits Understandingly, our troops have sincere heart and soul to make peace more than beneficial of local people. They have more obligation and empathy. Therefore, they work hard to local people, regardless race, religious, ethics, and then also political point of view. That's do work hard than beyond the mission mandated, and particularly help local to be able to sustain themselves through various development projects as well. Introducing them to philosophy of sufficiency economy, Bedford of King Rama IX. Experience told that no peace can be achieved when people are suffering from lacking the basic need. So thus Thai troops conduct sustainable development projects such as farming, making utensil, and then also building house from local resource. And I think Thai troops are well known of their development capability. This might be the reason why the people, the mission like Timor-Leste and the Darfurian trustworthy and confident in Thai contingents. And another one from the beneficial that we gain from the peacekeeping operations. Let me start with the participant in the UN peacekeeper mission brings Thailand a lot of beneficial. At the lowest level, troops and equipment will be reimbursed by the UN, which can be used to develop the armed forces. Then, however, monetary benefit is not reason Thai participated. UN's peacekeeping, it enabled our troops to experience work with military from other countries and then help display Thailand's commitment to global peace and security. It also gives a chance to build economic activity as well with the host country, as well as help the Thailand to build a relationship with global community. And then lastly, nowadays, and kind of the conflict will always be intervened and resolved by international body. The experience have been shown the many major troop contribution countries always use it contribution to UN peacekeeping as the bargaining tools on issues that affect its national interests and secure it. Thus, Thailand would gain the same benefits as well.
Information receiving from four of them demonstrates that Thailand has played such an active role in peacekeeping operations throughout the world. Our troop has played an active role in helping to improve quality of living of people around the world who have been suffer from war, who have been suffer from hardship. So therefore, I still believe that Thailand will play an active role in present and future. Today, thank you very much for sharing your experience and valuable information to the Insider Thailand. Thank you very much. ขอบคุณครับ
ขอบคุณครับ
Looking ahead, what can be expected of the international community is greater cooperation in order to manage such issues as repercussion of climate change, greater challenges to the global trading order, and humanitarian crisis that stem from forced migration and unsettled interstate conflict. Given this, the United Nations will have to depend on a more effective peacekeeping capability, and Thailand stands ready to do our part for this cause. Since becoming a member of the United Nations in 1946, Thailand has relished contributing to the work of the World Organization in peace, security, development, and humanitarian affairs. This tradition remains as a core aspect of Thailand's foreign policy, and Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha has been adamant that this virtuous role continue well into the future. Thank you very much for watching The Insider this week. See you again next week. Thank you very much again. สวัสดีครับ